Welcome to The View with Vertex, the show that takes you behind the scenes with some of the most influential people, personalities, and companies shaping the scaffolding industry. This next episode is brought to you by Scaffchamp, powered by Leia. Leia are an absolute juggernaut of innovation and efficiency within the scaffolding sector, along with their great partners KEWAZO. KEWAZO are doing great things to address labour shortages and the risks of manual handling in the construction industry. I truly hope you enjoy this episode. If you do, all I ask is that you like, subscribe, and get notified every time we drop a new episode. Thank you and enjoy the episode. Welcome back to a very special episode of The View with Vertex. We are recording live from Vilnius, Lithuania. We're at Scaffchamp 24, powered by Leia. We have Spencer, Chairman of NASAC, which is for the people watching the UK, is the Irish equivalent of the NASC. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
How are you finding time in Lithuania so far?
It's been great. I've been in the Baltic states before. I lived in Lithuania and worked in Latvia and worked there for 1 year, many years ago. But and I had many Lithuanian guys work for me, and so Lithuania's great.
Yeah, it's a lovely
friendly people, and nice city again.
So is it your first time at Scaffchamp?
My first time. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it last year, but made every effort this year, and here I am. And
just soaking in the event so far?
Oh, absolutely. And we have a team from Ireland, so I'd be cheering them on and seeing if I can give them a few points.
Yeah, I remember last year there was a team from Ireland. I ended up spending quite a lot of time with them as well.
Yeah, they were a young team last year, but like Rob and Johnny there, their team we brought from Dublin, they're good experienced guys, and a couple of them have come through the apprenticeship as well, which is good for us. Mm-hmm. And, I think it's going to be a great event. So
what's your background in scaffolding? What sort of, from beginning to ended up at McCrory?
I moved to Ireland 2000, and I was working for a couple of small builders, and they said, "Oh, would you mind doing a bit of scaffolding?" And I said, "Yeah, don't have a problem." I'd done a bit in the UK on and off, just helping builders out, and I ended up scaffolding a complete fire station with no training or anything, all out of system scaffold. And next job was a small block of apartments, or 4 small blocks of apartments, and I said, I think we ought to do some training here, lads. So did the Irish basic course and then did the Irish advanced course, worked a little bit on the tools, always sort of been in the foreman role, and gradually worked my way up to senior contracts manager. And unfortunately, the company I was working for, with the downturn, I got laid off. Obviously management surplus to requirement there. Yeah. So I went out I got laid off at 1 o'clock. By 5 o'clock, I'd been out, got all my public liability, and the company asked me to take some contracts on, and I started my own company the very next morning.
Wow. Wow. You hear these stories of and it must have been part of your thinking beforehand, but you hear these stories of overcoming adversity and, life giving you lemons, etc., as the old saying goes. But from the second you get laid off, and you're already in your mind saying...
I've always been a glass half full type of guy, and lucky enough my wife worked in insurance, so went out, got the PL and that all sorted out, and away we went. The previous company asked me to finish some contracts, did that, and then with other contacts I had, I was all of a sudden going from a guy with 4 or 5 guys, which is how I wanted to keep it, to winning a couple of major contracts from CISC, and I ended up with a crew, probably about 28 men at the maximum.
Right.
But the problem was Ireland was slowly getting out of recession, and it didn't come quick enough, and I couldn't sustain it. So I closed the company down and started looking around to find more work. But when you're sending out your CV and they can see you've been on the spanners, and then they see you've worked your way up into management, and then you become a company owner, I was prepared to do anything just to keep the money coming in, keep the family going, and no one was interested, you know, even to take you back on the spanners, because they think you've been a manager, a company owner, he's not going to work, he's only going to last a little while. So I started looking abroad and things like that, because my family have worked abroad since '84, and I'm no stranger, you know, and like a bit of excitement. So I applied for jobs in New Zealand. It was just after the earthquake in Christchurch.
Oh, really? So this would have been about 2011, 12 or so?
Yeah.
Because my missus was working on the Earthquake Commission.
Right.
Did you say your missus works in insurance?
Yes.
Same. So my missus was working in insurance. She was working for a company called Gallagher Bassett.
Right.
And they did a lot of the insurance, but she was doing that from Australia.
Yeah. Well, I applied, and it was an Irishman who'd obviously settled in New Zealand. FaceTime on a Friday evening, get offered the job. And then actually a Ukrainian guy who used to work with me at a previous company came to me and he said, would you have a look at my CV? He said, I found a job, and it was on an Irish jobs website. It's over in Canada. I said, of course I will. So he came round, had a look, and I asked him a bit more detail about where he found it. I went on the website looking for scaffolders in Canada, because they had a shortage there then. So I applied, and it was through a recruitment agency. I sent my CV in something like 8 a.m. on a Monday morning. I got a call from them at 9 a.m. What can you do? Had a little chat. I'll put your name forward for Canada. Okay. Wednesday afternoon, got a phone call from Canada. Had a chat with them. And she said, right, when can you come? I said, when you're ready. And she said, right, I'll send you a confirmation email. We ironed out a few bits and pieces. And Thursday I got sent a email confirming I had the position, and I accepted it on the Friday, and about 2 weeks later I flew out to Canada to go and work for Brock. And it was an arm of Brock. It was Cornerstone, which had been bought out by Brock, and I went up to the oil fields in Alberta, and I did 2 years up there on the tools in extreme hot and cold.
Yeah.
And came back, and one of the previous employers who'd made me redundant the first time had a position for me already. Went to them for 2 years, and then McCrory's came knocking on the door, and I've been with them for the last 7 years as Senior Contracts Manager.
Yeah, I guess when a company like McCrory knock on the door, you answer, right?
Yeah, and Patrick and John, very good people to work for, very fair, and we've never, ever been quiet, and we just seem to get interesting jobs.
Yeah. And embraces of technology as well.
Yes, most definitely.
Lift button with KEWAZO. Talk to me a little bit about what the relationship has been like between you guys and KEWAZO.
KEWAZO, Patrick and I have both seen it via LinkedIn and other media platforms, and we have our contracts meetings, and Patrick and I thought we'll take it and give it a go. And we started talking to Artem and built up a good relationship with them, and I'd been on a very large project in Ireland, and we said, right, we'll give it a go. And they came over and set it all up, give us the training, all the associated paperwork, very good for us. And we set it to work, and we were dismantling a large section of the scaffolds around this project, and it worked 100%. Where I needed 8, maybe 10 guys, I had 3 guys taking down the scaffold, and they were probably taking it down about the same time. So we ended up using it on this project, and we got it so we had 2 sets of rails, so we could finish one area, just wheel the machine straight around to another area and carry on there. And in Ireland there's a big labour skill shortage, and so it works absolutely brilliant for us.
So I mean, with the lack of skilled labour, and trying to bring people, encourage new people into the industry, one of your kind of jobs at the NASAC is, helping to improve the training schemes in Ireland.
Absolutely,
right?
Like Ireland's training schemes at present, what I went through there, they're more an assessment and not a full training. And as we all know in the industry, it was basically on the yellow jelly quick stage cup type scaffold. So we've now developed an apprenticeship program, and we've had a lot of consultation with CITB, scissors, and people like that. They had a lot of input in it, and we now have a full dedicated training centre, similar to what Bircham Newton was. Does multi-skills, but there's one area dedicated for the scaffold. And as you all know, one of the guys is actually a referee here. One of the trainers is a referee here, Fergus.
Second year in a row for Fergus as well. He's a good guy.
Yeah. And, we've been trying to move it on, and we're now getting back into the schools, and it's been recognised as a trade in Ireland. So it's a full apprenticeship over 2 years, 20 weeks, and it's what we're trying to encourage is earn while you learn. So they'll go away and in blocks of 3 maybe, and 3 threes and then a couple of 4s and that to bring it up to 20 weeks. And at the end they have a module where they have to build and things like that. But it's bringing them through all aspects to do their own safety paperwork, learning about all the equipment and all the theory behind it. And it's all in 3 different systems. We still do the cluster, the ring and the cup, and they're doing the tube and fitting obviously as well. And so we're trying to bring it on and encourage all the youngsters to come through, and we've had our first 27 graduates go through this week.
I saw on LinkedIn, they had a real graduation ceremony.
Oh yeah, we tried to make it special for those, and that was for good promotion and take it into the schools, where you get people that go away, do their university courses and things, and they do their gown and mortarboard. But we did this for those guys and they came out there, chest puffed out,
Yeah, they were
I've
really
achieved
smart.
something.
They were very well dressed. I
Yeah.
noticed. It's like we all, when we had, I don't know whether you call them graduation ceremonies as such, but when we used to call it the diploma week.
Yes.
When we did the apprenticeship, and they'd come in for that final week, and same thing, we'd always take photographs with them, and we used to go down to the local chippy and put a bit of a lunch on for them and stuff like that. But nothing on the level of the mortarboard need the cap and gown and all the rest of it. I think it's a great idea. Because like you've just said there, they're walking out of it with the chest puffed out and that sense of achievement. But what it's also doing is, and I know it was kind of maybe done as a bit of a tongue-in-cheek, like a bit of fun almost, but what it also does is it says to other people, this is a profession.
That's it. Because as we all know, all of us here in the scaffold industry, so many other trades, and they're called trades, they can't work without us being there to provide the access, safe access for them.
Yeah, and specialist access often as well.
Oh, yeah. So why shouldn't scaffolding be recognised as a trade? And that's what we've pushed. It's a consortium-led one, and we've had a good group of guys all push through. We've put a lot of work into this. It's probably taken us in the region of 5 years to get it all up and approved, but it seems to be working well, and the numbers coming through are good. And hopefully if we keep getting the numbers, they're going to slow down on the assessment courses they do at the moment, and they'll open up another second dedicated centre for the apprenticeship.
Yeah,
that's our plan.
It sounds amazing. It's like real innovation and change happening around the training over there. I'd love to see it happening. And from what it sounds like, from what you said, you're building scaffolders, rather than, we just had Ian File in there, and there's a lot of debate in the UK at the minute about training. And what you've described there is they're getting experience with all different types of system. We're not just saying, well, you do this course, and then if you want to come back and learn about system, you come back on a system course.
Yeah, like the scissors or CITB, you have to do your... Yeah.
Whereas this is no, we want you to be a scaffolder, and a scaffolder. And I believe this personally, if you build a scaffolder right, they can erect with scaffolding with anything.
Yes,
if you
100%.
build the scaffolder right,
Yeah.
And that involves, you've talked there about the getting involved in the safety, right, and the safety documentation and the procedural stuff. If you get them involved at that level, then there's no reason why they can't read and interpret the manufacturer's instructions for a system scaffold. There's no reason they can't, transfer those skills to the different equipment they're working with.
Oh yeah, and there they have to have the drawings they have to do. It goes from the component list all the way through. They get given a drawing, they have to do the component list. They may have to work out weight factors and things like this. They're going into a very detailed process to bring as much as they can through. Like Fergus is a scaffolder himself, and they're just getting another guy there who I've actually worked with. He's another ex-scaffolder. And so they know they're not just reading it from a book. So it's experience and trying to pass that experience on, you know, to the younger guys. And we're actually just at the moment going through recognition of prior learning. And so other guys who are my age or whatever you like, or, you know, 40s and that, they can now upskill, because this is only QQI. The assessments at the moment are QQI level 4, and this brings you up to QQI level 5. And as a traded scaffolder, as we're now calling us in Ireland.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually going for my interview with Fergus to see where I need any upskilling and things like that.
It's what would normally, and you probably couldn't say it these days, could you, because of all this political correctness and all the rest of it, what you probably would have referred to years ago as grandfather rights.
Exactly, yes. And the training centre have actually had a call this week, and someone was trying to tell them, oh, well, I've been a scaffolder so long, and I should get it through grandfather rights. But it's not there, because as I've been in the industry over 20 years now, and I still learn little things with the development of products and development of safety, i.e. with the KEWAZO and innovation. You know, every day's a learning day.
Absolutely.
Still.
This is what I've said for many years about, you know, the way we can change and modernise back home is like, you know, I do every inspection when I go out to inspect a scaffold. I use iAuditor. You know, some great templates that you can build on there. iAudit is a fantastic tool. We do inspections on the course. We could teach them to inspect using a software like iAuditor. We could, you know, we show them the e-portal, the TG20 e-portal, to a degree.
Yeah.
We could show them things like Scaffplan. You know, Scaffplan are another main sponsor of the event.
Yes.
It's these things that are moving the industry forward. And if we're only teaching the people coming into the industry about the industry we inherited, then, you know, what chance have they got? We need to teach them about the industry that they're going to inherit. You know,
that's it, and bring it forward. We all know how health and safety is progressing as well, and we have to follow that and keep up with all the improvements. And that's why we're choosing this route with that, and that's why McCrory's follow, you know, and we try to keep up with everything within the industry, and I'm trying to promote it elsewhere. And unfortunately, none of the other guys could come over this weekend, but otherwise McCrory's may have had a few more lads come over. I'm going to try and encourage to get a team over.
Yeah.
So, which would be interesting.
Yeah, I think they definitely. But the more we can get, the better. I think what's going to happen is the event, as Scaffchamp develops, I think what will happen is there will be local competitions.
Regionals, yeah.
And there'll be heats almost, because it's getting that popular now. You know, we could have everyone in the UK, these 3 UK teams that are here now, might have to qualify via a local competition. The same maybe in Ireland. You know, Layer have got a subsidiary over there, and possibly some other countries around the world. It'd be great for me, because I could attend all of those events as well. Maybe get some more free holidays to...
Yeah. I know, you know, I have a passion for the scaffold industry, and I just want to do what I can to try and improve things within Ireland there, and improve the company as well.
Yeah, I think the recognition of prior learning, I think that's a great step in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know, it tells people that they have to continuous professional development. It tells people that that's important. But I think also with skill shortages, you know, there may be a facility there for, you know, someone who's trained in Australia or New Zealand to come this way. Yeah. You know, and it just helps to, you know, to bring what you need to...
That's it. I'll hold my hands up, yellow jelly, ring, tube, I'm okay. Done a bit of cup lock, but that's one of the areas where I want to upskill, because there's still a good bit of it used in Ireland, certain areas and that there. So, you know, and legislation changes, obviously, I follow anyway. But it's more the cup lock, and that's the area where I just want to upskill. And then I have to do the same module as the guys have done it, and you still got to get the tools out and go and build something and be...
I know a training provider in the UK, they're one of the few training providers that do the SSPTS for cup lock.
Right.
And I'll share the details with you when we finish there, and then if you've still got a scissors card...
No. But you see, I'm going back to the apprenticeship, and the apprenticeship are running that as well.
Oh, perfect.
So it's actually all being done via the apprenticeship. You go in, you fill out a form, and you be as honest or whatever as you like, But then you have to go for a face-to-face interview, and that will be the one to see, you know, when you're chatting to someone, to see if they know what they're on about. And then they can develop. They're developing a course around where you need to skill, like I say, and they're going to look at rescue training, things like that, because some companies may not have that in place. So any of these areas they're missing, you might need a week upskilling, you may need 2 weeks upskilling, you know, and you might have guys come in there, well, I can do everything, and it'll be, okay, come and do the theory, come and do the practical, we'll see how you get on.
Yeah,
you know, and they'll
so
make
put your money where your mouth is, almost. Not
exactly.
that it's a you know, someone's throwing down the gauntlet, but
yeah,
you know, if you say you can do it, let's see that you can do it, and if you can, it shouldn't be a problem. But you will get all these sort of stick in the mud. You know, I've been in this game, and
I've done it this way.
I shouldn't have to, but at the end of the day, if the head, you know, if one of the key people within NASAC is willing to go through that process themselves, then it just sets the right example for everybody else.
That's exactly it. So I'm going to be able to tell people what it involves and go into depths with them. And also with working with tier 1 companies, we're trying to work alongside their safety teams, that they're going to encourage the apprenticeship, that they have maybe make sure they have an apprentice there, or a traded scaffolder who's gone through the apprenticeship. So that'll encourage all other companies to come through with the apprenticeship as well. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to going there and learning again. Yeah,
absolutely. I think CPD is the right thing to do.
Yes.
In whichever way you look at it. How we go about it, you know, I know we've got our 2-day course in the UK. You know, you love it all, you know, but at least there's something there now. For me, the big thing is little and often. If we can get that in, you know, updating things, you know, and updating your knowledge when the new guidance document comes out, and having some facility for doing that, I think we're onto a winner.
Absolutely.
And I guess the beauty of building it from now is you can look at everything else and say, that works for them, so we'll take a bit of that.
Yes. That
doesn't work over there so much, so we'll leave that out. You have that advantage of being able to shape and mould this thing as
that's it. And like I've actually been talking to Simon and Jonas there about bringing KEWAZO are going to come down to the apprenticeship and do a bit of a showcase presentation or whatever to show where we can keep going with the improvements in the industry. And you know, it's all about stop the drop and all the safety, and this machine I think works so well, and it's worked well for us. You know, we've got it on a cathedral there, 90 metres high. You're building it with 4 men.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're chaining up.
Absolutely, because you're not swinging a rope around that high. You're certainly not. Or you're on a winch or something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's definitely the right way to go. I'll have to come over and have a look at it. Again, I just want a free holiday. But yeah, definitely share some stuff on social media. I'm really looking forward to seeing that as it develops.
Absolutely, and I'll keep in touch and let you know how the RPL goes for me.
Nice one, man. Spencer, it's been an absolute pleasure to interview you. I'm going to let you get on and enjoy the rest of the day and tomorrow.
Time for a couple of beers now. I've had to stay sensible. It's my
last one, so I can join you. I can actually have a beer with you.
Absolutely.
So let's
thank you very much, guys.
Top man.
Thank you.